Welcome back. So, in a world that is just buzzing with AI, it's so tempting to just jump right in, right? To start building, automating, and implementing right away. But what if I told you the most valuable skill right now isn't building faster, but actually thinking clearer? Today, we are diving deep into that essential first step that separates the real strategists from the people who just use tools, the art of diagnosis. All right, let's talk about the biggest and, honestly, the most common mistake people make when they get their hands on new tech. They see it as some kind of magic wand for all their existing problems. They look at a process that's a total mess and they think, hey, how can AI make this faster? But you know what? That is exactly the wrong question, and it leads you straight into the automation trap. And this quote, this just nails it. Simply layering powerful automation on top of a broken foundation doesn't fix a single thing. It just amplifies the chaos. Think about it. You're not actually solving the problem, you're just accelerating it. You're making the mess spread through your company at like lightning speed. But the real danger here isn't just about creating faster chaos. No, it's the total failure of imagination. By focusing only on speeding up what you already do, you completely miss the chance to ask a way more powerful question. Okay, now that we have this incredible new capability, how should we be working in the first place? Think about this shipping container. It's the perfect example. Its first order effect was pretty straightforward: automation. Cranes replaced dock workers and ports got faster. But the true world-changing impact, that was a second order effect: the complete reorganization of global supply chains. It's the exact same thing with AI. Automating tasks, that's step one. But reorganizing how work itself gets done, now that is the real revolution. So if just building things faster is a trap, where is the real value today? Well, in a world where AI can execute tasks at an incredible speed, the bottleneck has totally shifted. It's moved away from implementation and towards something far more human. You know, what's really interesting is how this just flips the old script. Aaron Levy, the CEO of Box, he points out that the ability to just code or, hack something together is becoming a commodity. AI can do that. The new premium, the thing that really sets you apart, is on clarity, on strategy, and on taste. So, here's the crucial point. Knowing what to build and why you're building it has become infinitely more valuable than just knowing how to build it. The most powerful tool you have isn't the AI model, it's your ability to think clearly about the problem you're actually trying to solve. And this brings us right to the solution. If strategy is the new bottleneck, then our first job is to become a strategist, kind of like a doctor for the business. And what's the very first thing a doctor does? They don't just prescribe a treatment the second you walk in the door. No way. They diagnose. Every single business is on a journey through these four distinct stages, and giving the right advice depends completely on knowing which stage they're in. If you treat a huge corporation in the scale stage like a tiny startup in the find stage, you're going to insult them. And if you do the reverse, you'll just totally overwhelm them. And this table just brilliantly shows how diagnosis leads to targeted, specific solutions. A company in the find stage, they need clarity, so AI for market research is perfect. A company stuck in the chaos stage, oh, they are drowning in manual work and they desperately need time back. This often makes them your best customer. That's where AI for process automation is a total game changer. You've got to match the medicine to the illness. Okay, so you've diagnosed this stage of maturity. Great. But how do you actually analyze the chaos and come up with a plan? For that, you need a strategic toolkit, a set of powerful mental models to help you structure your thinking. Let's check out the first one. First up is MECE. I know, it sounds super complex, but the idea is actually really simple. Break a problem down into distinct buckets that don't overlap. So instead of trying to tackle a tangled mess, you create a nice, clean map by separating the business into clear categories like marketing, operations, finance, and HR. This lets you pinpoint exactly where an AI solution could have the biggest impact, instead of just guessing. Next up, the OODA loop. This is your framework for action. In a field moving as fast as AI, you just can't get stuck in endless planning. You need to run fast cycles. Observe what's going on, orient yourself with the data, decide on a small, high-impact intervention, and then act. It's how you test your AI pilots quickly and learn from real feedback without trying to boil the ocean. And finally, design thinking. And this is so crucial because tech solutions often fail not because they don't work, but because people just don't use them. This framework forces you to start with empathy, to really understand the frustrations of the people in the process. By building the solution with them, you create something they're actually invested in, which makes sure it gets adopted. Okay, so you've done the hard work. You've diagnosed the business, you've applied these strategic frameworks, and you've designed a really targeted solution. But a brilliant solution is totally useless if you can't get buy-in. How do you package all this insight into a story that actually convinces people to act? That, my friends, is the art of the strategic pitch. First things first, simplify your approach into a clear, repeatable process. Something as simple as discovery, design, and implementation gives clients a ton of confidence. It shows them you have a structured plan to guide them from their current chaos to a future of clarity. Your pitch deck should never be a boring list of features. It has to be a compelling story. You start by framing the problem with hard evidence you've observed. Then, you present your unique insight, your diagnosis. And finally, you show them the clear path forward with your proposed solution. Remember, you're not selling a tool, you're selling a transformation. So the mission here is clear. In the age of AI, the ultimate advantage isn't about moving faster, it's about seeing clearer. It's about diagnosing before you prescribe and structuring chaos before you automate it. The real question is, with this toolkit in hand, what chaos will you choose to structure first?